I recently did a reaction to Boston. I know a different band, but it got me thinking about bands with locations in the name, so here we are with Chicago. And there's something really, really interesting going on with the voice here.
If you leave me now, you'll take away the biggest part of me.
This reminds me of my mom.
Now, baby, please don't go. And if you leave me now, you'll take away the very heart of me.
It's so fascinating. I can't wait to talk about this.
Now, baby, please don't go. God, I just want you to stay.
So when he was a kid, Peter Cetera got in a brawl and broke his jaw, and he had his jaw wired shut, which meant that as it healed, he was never really able to open it fully. And this is something that's kind of interesting because it goes against a lot of singing. You can kind of hear it in his voice. Ooh, it's like ooh instead of ooh, which would have that drop jaw. It really changes the sound and it gives him his distinctive sound. Now, for many of us, tension in our jaw, this is where we need to talk about it. Tension in our jaw can cause issues. It can make a squeezed sound, and really any tension, unnecessary tension tends to get in the way, often causes instability or a kind of squeezed sound. He has that narrow sound, but it doesn't come with so much tension. I suspect because his muscles aren't actually tensing, it's just that his jaw hinge isn't working in the same way as everyone else's. So he can fully, it is relaxed down, but it can only go so far. This means that he has to kind of sing through this clenched jaw. It gives it this intensity. And often, there are things that are technically incorrect, but sometimes it can add an emotional intensity in the right way. I think that the key is that it has to really come from you naturally. And if you are finding, I wouldn't go and try to sing that way, especially if you have a lovely relaxed jaw. But even if you do, you might want to check that is not what is causing any inconsistencies in your singing, or if you have instability or things like that. If it worked for you, you are singing well, you're singing on pitch and rhythm, it feels really nice, you aren't getting fatigue, I'm always very open to people breaking the rules. I think sometimes some of the most amazing voices have come out of that. Roy Orbison also doesn't open his mouth. It's still quite open though.
How could we let it slip away?
To be fair to him, it does go to like here. Like he's not let it slip. He's not really opening, but he's able to get some space.
We've come too far to leave it all behind. How could we end it all this way? When tomorrow comes and we both regret the things we said today.
So although this doesn't seem very rocky, it's very pop rock. I think it's one of their more chill songs. They really do sit within this interesting genre place where you're getting a lot of brass in there, and it is rocky. They were one of the first, I think the first rock band to play at Carnegie Hall, and I think it's because they kind of blend over genres. So in a time where people were like, rock, even though, why? Who knows? Or it wasn't perceived as something that was high class enough. It's so silly. Then people could kind of, it's a gateway rock band, I suppose. gotta squeeze those.
We let it slip away.
Hey.
We've come too far to leave it all behind.
Okay, can we have a look at that? Hind. I think he did a different run. The run isn't important for what I want to talk about. I want you to play around with your jaw placement. Hind. It really changes the sound, and it gives him such a punchy, distinctive sound. The smaller you make this space, the more treble comes out of the sound, the higher frequencies of the sound come out, so it punches through more. Great for rock singing. Hind. Oh, bigger, warmer, has a kind of freer feel. Often you'll get a bit more vibrato with that open space. It just makes different sounds. Neither are wrong. They're just interesting, and you'll have something that you might prefer.
How could we end it all this way?
Or maybe you'll use different tones for different emotions.
And we'll both regret things we said today.
Nice runs though.
Even now, you'll take away the biggest part of me. Ooh, now baby, please don't go.
Natural tenor there.
Ooh, girl, I just got to have you by my side.
He's got great vowels though. Instead of side, like he's not closing into the vowels. That's also important with his jaw, in that he's side, he's sa instead of side. So he's not moving into the E's and those wide vowels that often go with this wide, thin mouth shape. E, I, we can often do that. Those are ones that you wanna sa. So if you can, get that slightly longer, thinner mouth, side, or what's it? Me, making it more of an I than an E, then it often makes things a little bit easier, especially at the top of your range. This is really high. It's really tricky to sing, and he makes it sound like it's flowing, but it is not easy to sing. A really interesting vocalist who's used something that often would get in people's way to make his trademark sound. And that's something to bear in mind if you have maybe a vocal pathology, if you have something that is changing the way you sing. Sometimes the best thing is to go with that. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I wanted to let you know I am releasing an album soon. It's going to be out on Spotify. I've put a link to a cover that I've done on Spotify, but later, or maybe already, depends when you watch this, my album will be on there too. Alright, thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.